Did your kid just take their shoes off in church, then point to this window and say, "That girl did it"? My name is Amy Simons. I'm Director of Christian Formation at St. John's Episcopal Church in Old Town Saginaw. My kid did, and for what it's worth, I'm giving you permission to talk in church. You are your child's first preacher, first Sunday school teacher, and first impression of what a loving God could be like, which means you've got to start talking. Day by day and week by week, you'll have to discern how to help them mature into the full stature of Christ, and you're going to need some tools and some help to do that. The good news is you have both. So back to those windows. What are they anyway? Art, history, very expensive piece of somewhat functional construction? Yeah, to all of that. But before they were any of that, someone was called to tell a story. The oldest purpose of stained glass is storytelling. It was a way to share characters, events, and ideas that shape our faith and invite us into a conversation with God. It worked centuries ago when most of the population was largely illiterate and almost no one had a Bible. And the good news is it still works really great today with our babies and toddlers. So if your kiddo is determined to have a little chit-chat during the offering, anthem, or the sermon, consider directing their attention to one of the windows. Tell them that story and ask them questions. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. You can speculate and investigate that together, which isn't what we're all trying to do here. So let me walk you through a couple of them now. St. John receiving the revelation. St. John is the saint of our church. We're named after him, so it makes sense that he's in the big window. While in exile, he received a revelation from God about what it would be like when the world was fully aware of and reconciled to God's presence. So take a look at that city in the clouds. While it isn't a scientific diagram, it does beg us to imagine what a new world would look like. What do you or your child think heaven is like? Is it beautiful? Full of the people or the pets that we love? Will we have jobs? Will we continue to till the earth? There's a lot to think about and a lot to imagine and wonder, and this window is a great prompt to do that. If you're stuck, the Nativity window is a classic. It's the Christmas story, so it's something most of us are very familiar with. You can easily pick out critical characters like Mary and Joseph, the wise men, the baby Jesus. But there are other bits too, like the Bethlehem star. What was it like when your child was born? That's a story every kid wants to know. Maybe they don't need the details, but they want to know that they were brought here with you and so loved. You can tell that to them. You can tell them why families are so special. And it's a good segue into how much Jesus loves them and how Jesus and his family faced a lot of hard things, but knew that God was with them. Now, back to this lovely lady with the bare feet. This is St. Agnes. And in addition to inspiring controversy about footwear in church, Agnes was a martyr. But perhaps more important to feature and highlight is that she was a young person. You can observe the items around her. There's a lamb, a book, a garden. Do you think Agnes was gentle like that lamb? Do you think children are important to God? Or young people can do important things? Because it's sort of impossible not to imagine. What do you think that garden grass feels like in your bare toes? Here's the bottom line. Being part of a faith community means that you are not starting from square one. There are folks building you up right now, and these windows are a reminder that folks have been building you up for generations upon generations. Their story is your story, and you get to write a part of what comes next. See you next time in Talking in Church.